up, everybody? I'm Sal Klein. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Well Lit Steel.
And welcome to Spitballin.
Y'all.
Before we get started, shout out to my man Tom Rhodes. The album, phenomenal. My man is incredible, super funny.
Did you listen to it
smart.
on vinyl?
Yeah, it's on vinyl.
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So shout out to Tom. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I bet you we have something in common this morning.
We both got on green.
No, even more like out there. I bet this morning we both saw black penises.
Hold on, let me think. See, the problem is when I go take a whiz, I don't necessarily have to look at my
You know,
job.
well, it's so hard to see, probably. I understand.
It's one of those things, man. It's like
is that a cube or is that a peen?
That's funny. This guy got jokes. I don't have to look at it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to, I don't have to examine it.
I didn't have to look at it either, but this man on the street insisted on having all his clothes off.
Oh, no. Okay, hold up. We got to address that because there was a situation once in Berkeley. You tell me your story and I'll tell you mine.
Well, I was just walking down the street. I mean, I was using the facilities this morning in my bathroom and the window open. I heard a guy yelling as a homeless person might do on occasion. And I was just
especially in Los Angeles.
American fella. Yeah. And now there's one homeless guy who lives right here under the bridge here, but he's quiet, he's chill. Never, it's just him. And sometimes guys
Wait, hold up. Time out. Let's address this real quick. There's a homeless guy that lives under the bridge.
Yeah.
This sounds like a start of a fairy tale, like a children's story. The man under the bridge.
Hey,
you have to give him a coin if you want to pass. Right?
I had one homeless person under the bridge. That's fine. That's what the fairy tales tell us to expect.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, go ahead. So
the whole community down there is no bueno. So anyway, that guy's always under there. But then this guy comes roaming down. Sometimes guys will come by pushing their carts. I don't know where they're headed. And this dude's come by, just a blanket, and the blanket's dragging along like Linus.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a blue blanket, it's a dirty blanket. Yeah. And then, anyway, so then I go out for my walk this morning, and there he is. He's in the bike lane in the main street. And the homeless guy under the bridge, he's under there just being himself, quiet. But this guy's over down a little in the street. And I'm like looking, I'm like, why is all his shit in the bike lane, all the clothes and the blanket? And he's got all his clothes on the bike lane. He's just got a blanket on it, and he turns and he's completely naked.
Oh, wow.
And then I got my camera out, but it was kind of tough to get the angle because his camera, I got to set it to my
so wait, let's get this straight because I want everyone to know. I want to make sure you guys heard what I heard. There was a naked black man outside, and the first thing Sal thought was, "I got to get my camera.
I got to get my camera and send this to my friends."
Okay, all right.
But anyway, it's just like what a way to wake up. And so then I didn't really get a good shot or anything. I didn't really try to focus. I was just walking, and then he was across the street. But then he kind of just like looked at me, with his whole naked self and his little shoulders covered in his blanket. And he goes, "You fat bitch."
Wait, what? Are you serious? Dude, hold up, time out. The sound is off right now. I can't really hear you though.
Oh, he said, "Fuck you, you fat bitch."
Oh, wow.
That's what he said.
Well, at least he got the B part right. I don't think you're very fat.
That fat bitch was kind of
definitely a bitch. I mean, there's no, I'm joking.
Now who's got that jokes?
Yeah.
No,
I would never call you that.
Yeah, he definitely he could have been yelling at anybody. It was definitely different. But anyway, yeah, and then
Okay, hold up though. So, I mean, was he representing? Was he out there?
It's funny. Nobody's representing on a cold morning.
Oh, damn, that sucks. Okay.
It was kind of funny to see. It was like, oh, wow,
All right, so I got one for you. I'm driving down Telegraph
Well, at
So
least
if
you're in
I'm
a car. I was on foot. I had to keep looking behind me. I had headphones in. I didn't want to get smacked by a peen in my
yeah,
ear.
and you got to take the headphones off at that point so you can hear, right? But I'm driving down the street. I'm driving down Telegraph going from Oakland to Berkeley. And I look over into one of the, like I stop at the light and I look over to the bus stop. There's a homeless guy at the bus stop and he's he's dressed, but his pants are like ripped, right? And his joint is out, right? His joint is out. And he's just kind of whatever. He's fiddling around doing stuff. And you glance over and you have to take a second glance because you're like, that's what the hey dude, when I say this dude, he missed his calling because he he could have had one of the most amazing careers in the adult film industry because this dude completely flaccid. This dude was like this. Like I'm not exaggerating.
Was
I'm
it
not
is a black
exaggerating.
dude?
Black dude. He had to be no
Was he big? Was
exaggeration.
he a tall dude?
Yeah, he's like a tall, slender dude. Not super tall, but just like slender dude.
Weird.
And I'm telling you right now, this dude flaccid was like 9 to 10 inches, just here. And he was just doing a thing or whatever, and just
Was he
his
folding
joint was just
clothes?
all over the place. I was like, as I was driving off, I was like, bravo. I was like, good for you, my man.
He's
Right?
advertising. He's like, yo, man, this is my last chance.
Yeah, but nobody wants that joint, right?
It's got to be
I mean,
clean. It
like,
don't matter.
and we talked about this, right? Like, we talked about like, growers and showers. If he's this, then maybe he just does this and that's
Right,
it.
right, right,
But it's not
right.
like he's this and then he
I
goes,
go,
"Woof." Yeah, exactly. Like then that's just too much, right? The other one I want to talk about too, real quick, since we're talking about homeless,
I thought we were talking
is
about naked men.
we're talking about the mentally ill, the homeless and mentally ill, right?
That happened
My
to be
boy,
naked.
my boy Moki, Jamoki Hayward Horton, who's no longer with us. Shout out to my man, love him, R.I.P. J, Big J. But years ago, Jamoki pulls me aside and he's like, I realized there's different levels of homelessness.
Mhm.
And I go, elaborate. Like, what do you mean, right? He goes, all right, I'm at this cafe having some coffee. I'm like, okay, where? He's like, at one of my little spots I be going to, doing what I be doing, right? I'm like, all right. And I'm like, he's like, I'm sitting there and I hear this conversation between these two homeless guys. Now, there's one homeless guy. He kind of got his act together a little bit. Like he's dressed fairly well, and he's got coffee, and he's doing the thing. But he's obviously a street dude, like unhoused, as they say now, right?
All right.
But he's kind of know the system, and he's talking to another younger homeless guy, and he's giving him the ropes, like he's breaking it down for him. He's like, "Hey, man, look." He's like, "Yo, you gotta figure out all the places where you can get fresh water, and you can get some food." Right? There's a lot of shelters around here. There's places over here where you can get this and that and the other. And he goes, but first off, you got to get some shoes, man. You can't be walking around here barefooted, right? He's like, you're going to encounter a lot of problems if you're barefooted. So I'm gonna tell you all the places you can get some shoes and get some food and get some water throughout the day, because you can't be out here like this, right? And for Moki, he was kind of like, oh, they're like the OG homeless dudes that like try to put the young homeless dudes on game, right?
Yeah.
So what's the next level? Like the next level is Jay to be like, hey man, look, we gonna have to get you a house. There's some housing for unhoused people. And then the next person would be like, hey man, look, I'm gonna try to help you get a job. We got to get you an interview, got to get you
Right,
a
right,
suit so you can go to interview. Like there's levels to it.
right.
But he was talking to one guy was refined, having coffee, unhoused. The other dude was completely barefooted and
He
unhoused,
didn't know
right?
how to act right.
He didn't know how
Right.
to
He's
act
still
right.
learning the ropes. He's still learning.
Yeah,
You
he's
remember this old this is a great bit that Geraldo had about why hold on, why is my screen shared? I don't want my screen shared. Hold on. I'm not really good at this stuff. All right, here
yo.
we
So, well, while you figuring that out, that clip of the thing I said about the Democrats and Republicans and the
go.
guy
Yeah,
who
it's all over the
posts,
place.
It's all over the place. And the
We're
guy who
viral,
posted
Reg.
it, huh? Yeah, I
We're
know.
viral.
Yeah, really. And the guy who posted it, I was on his page and I
I
write,
couldn't find it on his page.
well, I found it. I found it on his page and I go, I go, hey, that's me. Thanks for sharing. And I still agree with me 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Dude, since then, people have liked that comment and they've all been coming to
Nice.
follow me. They're like following now, following now, following now. And my joint is set to private, so I have to accept the request.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna accept it though. Just because,
What?
well, because
Reggie,
that was,
we're doing a podcast and the podcast has got some publicity and you're not taking advantage of the publicity?
well, the problem is, man, is that that was a political
Yeah, and all these people are
clip.
on your side. They believe in you.
Exactly, but they believe in my politics, and I'm not talking about a bunch of politics. And that clip was, that clip was a one-off. Like it's probably at this point over 1 million views, right? In the different places,
You still promote the
500,000 there,
podcast
400.
on your Instagram, and that's what we could get these people.
All right, I'll think about it
This
because there's a bunch of
motherfucker.
them. I want to say right now I have somewhere around. It's not. I don't know if it's 1,000, but it might be like.
1,000 people want to
No,
be.
no, 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 not just from that. Just overall. I think
No, well,
it might
yeah,
be like
whatever.
not.
But
It might be like 890 or something. That's like
Adam, bro.
waiting to be at.
Adam.
But see, the problem is I gotta vet these people, dude. Because
No, it doesn't matter.
no, no, just for
You
the
can put
record.
private. They can't leave comments or anything on you. You could set it all up so they can't even do anything. They'll
Well,
just
yeah, I'm
follow
like,
you.
I gotta vet them first because
Oh man, we
there's a
need
lot
these
of
views, fool.
dude, there's a lot of bogus joints out there.
Yeah,
Just
just
for the record.
bogus that you ain't putting it up there and
Hey
accepting
man,
them.
all I'm saying is people trying to get me to sign up with a Bitcoin,
You and your
make $1 million in
conspiracies.
15 minutes. So,
Um, man,
so we'll see. But all right, I just want to share that with you.
that guy's got a bunch. Yeah, that's crazy.
That
Um,
dude has a lot of followers. That dude had like 890,000 followers or
how
something.
many?
And I,
And you said how many did the views? See, this is what I don't like. Somebody screenshots and takes the video from our TikTok and then puts it on their own Instagram. Doesn't even credit us or anything.
yeah.
And yeah, no, it's kind of ridiculous. And it's on our Instagram, but nobody gives a shit on there. And yeah, I put every clip on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And it's always interesting to me what hits when, how. It's all different. There's no
Mhm.
rhyme or reason. And this one blew up on the TikTok, and now somehow it's found its way to Instagram.
I
But yeah,
think
I've had a
it,
couple people say, yeah, it was
well,
on.
I when I posted it, I sent it to a couple people like, yo, this is crazy, man. Look at this. This thing has gotten all these views and people sharing it. And one of the people I shared it with was Marcella Arguello. Shout
Yeah.
out to Marcella. She's agreed to do our podcast too. She said she'll
Yay.
do it this summer. Yeah, so that'd be great.
Summer? The fuck is that? Summer? What do we gotta go so far out for?
Dude, it's May. The summer's like 4 weeks away.
Summer.
Relax. Right? She said she got a couple things she's got to take care of first. But one of the things she said was she was like, she said it was bittersweet, right? Like it's sweet because you go, oh, cool. This thing has gotten traction and people are watching and listening and they agree with it. But then on the other side of it, she goes, then you get all the hate comments too. Like you get the love and the support, but then you also get the hate, right? And she goes, good. And she actually said, she's like, well, the good thing is that your name isn't on there because that prevents you from getting all the hate in your DMs, and I was like, that's actually a pretty good point because I ain't about to hate.
That is
I be
interesting.
I be blocking, and
I
then she's like,
mean,
but then we could talk about this too with her when she comes on, because as a headlining comic who's working and who's constantly putting out content and having what you just said, having some things hit, some things don't hit, and then we kind of just briefly discussed whether that translates into butts in the seats. And we don't have to get into it now. We'll talk about it with her later because that's actually something that she mentioned about it, you know, the
I mean, she's
potential and the
also
lack
like
of.
a female and a Latin female, so I could see her catching shit way
Mm,
more than we would. Um,
yeah.
but I will say when that video went viral on TikTok, I felt I was wondering about the hateful comments, but dude, like 95%, 90% of the comments were all positive, all on board, all like a lot of people out there who want to hear that point of view, want to hear those voices. And that's why I'm kind of like, dude, it's like the hate's gonna come at you, but who cares? You got to keep going for those others. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, absolutely. And you know what Dion said? I think Dion said it. I think Kobe has said something very similar to it. It's that thing of, it's all, how do I say this? The positive and the negative, or the good and the bad, they all are used for fuel, right?
Mhm.
Like, to encourage you. It's like, we take it all. We take the hate and we take the love, and we use it
Right,
all to motivate to keep going. And
right.
it also goes back to that whole thing of like, there's no such thing as bad press. Say something good, or, talk about me good or talk about me bad. Just make sure you talk about me, right?
That's
That's it.
yeah.
So,
All right,
yeah.
here's
New York
Geraldo.
City, this is great, man. I love living here and doing shows here. And shit, the characters that we see in this city every single day. I was in a subway the other day, and there were these homeless guys singing a cappella, happy as shit. They're homeless, singing a cappella, shaking a cup. I thought, how did these guys even meet? It's hard enough to form a band when you have a house and a phone and all that kind of shit. How do you bump into other a cappella enthusiasts when you're out there on the homeless trail? You think you're just sitting around the shelter one day? I need some crack. Me too. Me three.
That's funny. That's good.
Real good, dude.
That's good.
Man.
I need some crack. Me one, me
Or
two,
me
no,
too,
me two,
me
me
three.
three. That's pretty good. Nice. Geraldo was funny, man. I wasn't a huge fan of his when he was alive. I
What a
liked
hater.
him. I liked him, but he wasn't one of my guys. Like, I
I
wasn't
loved
checking
him.
for
I
him.
thought he was. He was funny and he was smart and he was real. And I worked with him twice and he was awesome to watch, man.
Well, I had a lot of respect for him. I mean, the guy went through law school and became an attorney, right? Which is very difficult to do, right? That's not easy. And he passed the bar.
So you respect him as a lawyer, not as a
Well, no,
comic.
I,
What
I
is
respect him as a
that?
person who was driven and ambitious and goal oriented, and who accomplished his goals. But I also respect him as a person who did something that was very difficult and then decided to leave that thing that he
Yeah.
accomplished to go do something else, and then became equally as successful in that other thing. You
Well,
know?
yeah, he wasn't successful as a lawyer, but yeah, I mean, you mean as the graduate. Yeah, I get
I
that.
mean, to graduate and to pass the bar and to practice law, I mean, that's a success. I mean, you look, not everyone's gonna be Robert Shapiro or what's his name? What's the black dude everyone talks about? Cochran, Johnny Cochran, right? Not everybody's gonna be those guys,
I
but
like, yeah, like that's
look,
your go-to for a lawyer. Not everyone's gonna be Johnny Cochran.
there was, hey man, there was one point. I'm telling you right now, if Johnny Cochran was still alive, well, he'd be old as shit. But if Johnny Cochran was still alive, half of these rap dudes wouldn't even
Oh,
be
totally. Diddy would be calling him
right.
right now.
Exactly.
You back with the
If the
dead? Diddy needs you.
exactly, if the baby oil ain't slippery, then you must,
Yeah.
be lippy. So I don't know. Coming up with rhymes
Uh,
and shit.
so everybody, my good friend Reggie here, good friend, messaged me.
I know where he's going, guys. I know where he's going.
Totally missed my birthday, everybody. Totally forgot my birthday. Messaged me late last night. Go, oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And then he writes, oh, wait, no, it was yesterday. And I just wrote back, it was 2 days ago. So technically now it's 3 days ago.
And what did I say when you said
I
it's
don't
two
know. I
days
was too
ago?
angry to read it.
I said when you said, I said, "Oh, happy
Let's see.
birthday." Oh no, it was yesterday. And you go, "No, it was 2 days ago." And I said, "That's what I said."
Yes, yeah. Let me see if did I write Reggie on his birthday? Let me see what I wrote to Reggie on his birthday.
You didn't write to me on my birthday.
I can't even see. I read you too much. That's the problem. Oh no, no, March, still in March. See, I at least know when his birthday is.
I'm gonna go back to February. Here we go. March, April.
Oh,
Here we go. All right, here we are. Here we are, the 17th.
21st, 20th. Yeah. Happy birthday. 8:41 in the morning. I woke up in the morning
Happy
and I
birthday,
couldn't
buddy.
wait to tell him.
Yeah, but this is what it was. Happy birthday, buddy. Get us a guest for the podcast this week.
I gave you 5-day notice. It was on a Monday.
Yeah, thanks, Sal. Thanks, Sally. Every year we see is a blessing. Believe that. See, I can't even address the podcast because I couldn't because my birthday wish was tainted by work. So no, dude. The reason why I missed your birthday. No, seriously. The reason why I missed your birthday was because I was testing you to see how you were going to respond. I wanted to see how good of a friend you are.
You just totally forgot. Oh,
and we had just talked about
Sal here.
Dude, I've been having a lot going on, man. There's so much happening at work right now, like straight up. Like
must be tough having a job.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
Tough making money.
No, it ain't just that, dude. We've been having meetings and there are people who are going rogue. It is crazy out there right now. Like in this world of the union, like as a union worker, there are people right now who are afraid to start their car, bro. They like, nah. They trying to find homeless dudes to start their car. Hey man, go over there and start that car. I'll give you $10 to start that car for me. They're like, all right. But nah, man, my bad. Happy birthday to you. The big 4.
I went and got
4-8.
We won't address it. Yeah. No, so nothing really happened on my birthday. I went to the Improv. I didn't get up. But then on Wednesday, I had my trivia, and a bunch people very sweet. My trivia people sweet. Someone put a sign, "Happy birthday." People would buy me drinks. I was drinking the drinks. And got pretty faded. And then someone went and got me a giant slice of pizza from across the way.
Okay. And then, greasy to help soak up all that.
Oh, it was the best. So then the guy just gives, I just go up to my buddy. I'm like, hey, I'm drunk. Can you give me a ride home now? And he's like, all right. And so I just left. Like I didn't want to, I was too drunk to hang. So it was the best. You could get home, stumble in, friggin' throw my little pizza in the toaster oven for a minute, pop that out. I pop a lactate, eat that, and Knight Rider was on. It was like, imagine what it was like getting drunk in the 80s. It was the best.
It's awesome.
It was Knight Rider it was when there was an evil Knight Rider. There was a prototype. Oh, I didn't know there was always Kit and then there was Cat, but this one was earlier. This one was Car, and it was like a prototype who turned bad.
I don't remember. I don't know that one, but I love the fact that the highlight of your birthday was that Kit was on a show from the 80s starring David Hasselhoff.
Oh, Michael Knight, baby. I haven't seen that show in forever. You know what else?
We were just talking about it.
Because we talked about the A-Team last week.
But we talked about Kit too, briefly.
Yeah, they played, so they'll do like the A-Team for like an hour or two, and then they do the Knight Rider. And I still think maybe the A-Team I enjoy a little more, but Knight Rider's kind of cool with the car. It's so silly. Some of it's so bad.
But the name Knight Rider, you gotta love the name.
Oh, the name is dope. The song is dope. The car is dope.
Oh, hold up though.
Turbo Boost, come on, man.
Hold up, the song. You know, Busta Rhymes flipped that song.
What's that?
You know, Busta Rhymes flipped that song and made a song out of the Knight Rider theme.
Yeah, I think I do remember him doing that.
Oh, dude, hold up. Let's find out real quick.
It was good.
What? You are smoking right now. You talk about that crack that Geraldo was talking about. You smoking some of that?
Me too. Me three. I could just look it up on the iTunes store. What's it called?
I just said Busta Rhymes Knight Rider. I'm on YouTube. It's called Turn It Up. It's called Fire It Up. Turn it up. Fire it up.
Let me find it, and then I'll just play it on here so it doesn't sound like shit.
Okay.
Busta Rhymes.
Shout out. Dude, this whole podcast right now is, I got a lot of shout outs. I've shouted out my man Tom Rhodes. Shout out my man Moki.
I don't hear it.
It comes at the end. It's like the fired up.
You sure? Yeah, man, I ain't hearing it. Oh, this is it. It's the remix. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I don't care, man. It's that song, dude. That song is
fired up.
You can put
Fired
any
up.
song to that, it's gonna be a hit.
Dude, that beat right there. Hold on, just play that little part again. Just the fired up part, the remix part. Just play that one little part.
But that's all Knight Rider. That's all he's doing is the Knight Rider's exact
Dude,
song.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Oh, my dog, stay blunted. But hold up, that first part though, that turn it up part, that joint is fire too, though. The very beginning of it.
Mm.
So Busta Rhymes is legit, man. I love Busta.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites.
He's a little annoying with his singing. I'm like, all right.
That's funny.
And
All right, man.
I'm always bothered. You ever read one thing? Like he said some homophobic shit one time, and I was always like, man, Busta, that you? That's a bummer.
He did say something. I remember a long time ago, but you got to almost excuse him because Busta is of Jamaican descent, and the Jamaicans.
What's that mean?
I mean, no excuses, but the Jamaicans, man, they really feel strongly about the about the LGBTQ community, man. They got very little patience and tolerance. I hate to say it, but they do make some of the best music, man, and they're super creative.
Oh yeah, that's like when he
Biggie
walked
was
out of
a
the interview in '07 when they're asking him about it.
yeah, he said something dumb.
Yeah.
Biggie was of Jamaican descent too.
Mm.
Biggie, Busta.
I don't know. I never did Biggie's ancestry.
Yeah, his growing up, he used to visit. His mom was Jamaican.
Oh, that's right. I read
Yeah,
about
so
that.
he used to go to Jamaica
Did
and
you ever
hang out
see
with
the
his
Biggie
uncle.
movie Notorious?
I did. It wasn't that great,
I
but
it's funny because the guy also did the Tupac one, and I saw it too. And the problem with both of those movies,
they're not great.
yeah, they feel like you're reading a Wikipedia page instead of like they're like, oh, these are things that happen. Let's just recreate these scenes. But for some reason, it doesn't make it all blend into one. You know what I mean?
Well, and let's be honest, man. Those guys, they're so much bigger than like how do I say this? I think that Biggie and Tupac, especially Tupac, because he had a much larger catalog, and we got to see him for a longer period of time. I mean, there was a time where he was with Digital Underground, and then there was a time where he was kind of on his own doing his thing, and then he had the whole Death Row era. So it's like, which Tupac do you pick out? Do you pick out the one at the end that everyone loved because of
All the
All Eyes
Pac.
on Me, or do you pick out the early Pac where he's fun and he's with Digital Underground? Because I come around, because I get around, or whatever. And then you get the
Brenda's
two.
got a baby.
Or and then you got the Tupac in the middle where he's very conscious, right? The system got me trapped. Brenda's got a baby, dear mama. You know what I mean? Like he was a very conscious rapper, socially conscious rapper, versus the later half of him where he was, the fight music Tupac.
Right.
Hit him up and California dream, dun, dun,
Right.
dun, 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 right? So it's hard to pick out, and if you try to do all of them in one movie then you're basically just touching little parts of them to try to make a whole, you
Right.
know. And
Instead
then
of
Biggie,
giving us
obviously, he had a very small catalog. He only had the two albums.
right.
So it's like, well, which part of them do we talk about? Do we talk about the making of Ready to Die that goes into life after death, and then he dies, or do we talk about his life growing up and then to the making of Ready to Die? But if you end there, then you don't get into the commercial success of life after death.
Yeah, sometimes the movies are better if they focus on just a certain part because
Yeah,
you can get way more detail. Like the Hendrix movie, their Andre 3000 plays him. It's only from Jimmy. It's not even when he's growing up. It's Jimmy pretty much in New York after the army and when he goes to England, and then that's it. Before it comes to America and becomes famous and all that. So it's just like you focus on a moment in time.
yeah, and see, okay, I'm down for that, right?
Yeah.
Because then we can get really specific and get into the details, the minutia of their life, the small details. Because that was the frustration I felt with watching Notorious was that it's skirted, like you said, it's the Wikipedia version, but it's skirted by some of the things that I really wanted to see as a fan.
Mhm.
Like I wanted to see the process. I wanted to see him in the studio. I wanted to see them turn the levels up and turn the volume up and then,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah, they
wanted to
didn't do
see,
that part. Yeah.
and they didn't do that part. And it was like,
Right.
come on, man. Like I wasn't worried about
That's the magic. That's why we like them is the music. That's
it's
what
the
got
music. I
them.
didn't care anything about
Yeah.
faith. I ain't want to. I mean, if you want to touch on the Tupac situation later, yeah, okay, we get to that toward the end. But yo, let's get into why this dude right now is the only artist in the history of like Billboard to have an album that's in the top 100 for over 30 years,
Mm.
right? Because the music had an impact on people. And though it had a different impact than Tupac, I think Tupac was more of an emotional type of hit, right? Like people listen to Pac and they feel a certain thing, whereas Biggie was a straight storyteller and a lyricist. So listening to him put words together, make things rhyme, and to tell these elaborate, detailed stories that were, funny but also very descriptive. It's like all his rhymes are like movies, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like who is this paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning. Wipe the coal out my eye to see who's this paging me and why. That's dude, that's a film, right? Like you can
Right,
actually,
right. He tells a
you know,
story in
he
it.
tells a story. So,
You know who also has an impact? Our podcast when we were talking about an egg and peeling an
oh, the
egg.
boiled egg and peeling the
So
egg.
look at
That's
it.
right.
My buddy Brendan, he saw the clip and he shared, look at this egg. He showed me this egg that he peeled. And
Oh, before you go on, just for the record, um, whenever I haven't had hard-boiled eggs in a long time because I'm kind of past that phase in my life. But
what you talking about? That's like good for you.
I know they're great for you, but I'm just saying I cook my eggs now, right? Like I crack them and cook them.
Yeah,
Um,
but this is
but when
healthy.
I used to have hard-boiled eggs and peel them, they never looked like your eggs.
Ah, look at this guy's egg.
Mine used to look like that.
Look at Brendan's egg. This egg is unbelievably
So
clean.
he boiled it and then he put it in cold water.
No. So here's the trick,
Okay.
according to him. And I thought it was sus. I mean, I've never heard this trick, but he says you crack it a little on the bottom and then you put it in and let it boil. And that little crack will help it separate from the shell.
Mm.
But
So
then
he
if you
cracks
crack
it,
it
but
too much, then
wait,
the egg will pour out into the thing, you
but I
know,
was gonna say he cracks it before he even puts it in the
before he
water.
drops it in the water.
I don't know about that one.
That's what I said. It's sus. Look at that egg, though, bro. Look at that.
I mean, yeah,
Mm.
I thought yours was cottage cheese. I thought
Well,
your
mine
egg, when you
had
showed it to me on
no,
the page, I was like, is that a pile of cottage cheese? Like, what is
mine had a little rough. Mine looked like remember that in Dick Tracy, like that one guy had an all fucked up face. What was his name?
Dick Tracy? The movie or the
You remember Dick
cartoon?
Tracy in the 90s? It was the big thing. Is that all the McDonald's? Um,
I don't know what you're talking about.
you know Dick Tracy.
Yeah, the yellow, who uses a yellow
Yeah.
suit and
You
a
remember the
hat. It was
movie?
the detective, right? He was a detective, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
I didn't follow Dick Tracy's career as a kid.
No, dickhole. You didn't have to follow his
He
career.
said dick hole. All right, dickhead.
Hold on, let me find him. Where the fuck is a good picture of him?
Dude,
Um,
I gotta get
uh,
more rest. I look tired, bro. Sorry, podcast
yeah, you're
listeners
the
and
worst
viewers.
podcaster right now. There he is, prune face. Let's
Oh,
Google it.
whoa, yeah. Okay, kind of forgot about that. He looks like a pig.
Yeah, that's what
That
my egg
nose.
looked like a little.
Yes, your egg definitely looked like that. Your egg looked unedible. Prune face, man. That was a view. You gotta warn viewers about that one.
Yeah, you remember Dick Tracy? I think I saw it. Like it was supposed to be this huge thing, and it was not as popular. But I do remember it being McDonald's had a thing, and that's how I remember it. Because McDonald's Monopoly thing was huge, but Dick Tracy was another thing they did. Um, yeah, let me find it. Yeah, remember? Let's see. You remember this? All these guys. And Madonna was in the movie.
Oh, faintly, yeah. Oh, that's right. And they had the extreme head. Like, look at
Oh,
these
was that
guys.
fucking Pacino?
No, it can't be because he got the pinstripes. It looks like it could be though, with the eyes.
I think it is.
I mean, look at these characters.
Yeah, man.
Dude, television history, movie making, it's kind of interesting when you go back and look at it then compare it to now.
Oh yeah, because they had to do so much more with like masks and makeup and
Yeah, Pacino would have been a lot higher if he was in here.
yep, there
Oh,
he
there
is,
he
Al
is.
Pacino, Big Boy Caprice.
Wow, nice job, Sally.
Yeah,
Those eyes gave it
I
away,
know my
though.
Italians. Oh,
Those big
Dustin
round eyes.
Hoffman, Dick Van Dyke. God damn, they had a lot of stars in this. Paul Sorvino, Mandy Patinkin. You killed my
Madonna.
father. Prepare to die. Madonna.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, that's funny, man. But
Warren Beatty.
there was a lot of Dick Tracy, I guess, stuff prior to this movie, like shows and stuff, but it never really took off. And yeah, but Warren Beatty. I mean, yeah, he tried to make a hero that not none of us knew. But hey, that fucking yellow ass fucking suit that still stands out.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing I think of when I hear Dick Tracy. I think of the suit and the hat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, do you remember like look at this poster? This poster was dope. Like this was the shit, man.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it was the red tie, and he got a
Yeah.
Tommy gun. Oh
Yeah,
wait, Dick
yeah,
Tracy is
man.
not who I think. Warren Beatty. I kind of think so. He wasn't a detective. He was a cop,
Yeah, I think he was a private investigator.
a PI with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, dude, it was the 30s. Times were tough.
Oh, it's the 30s. No wonder. Okay, yeah, that makes sense with the
Oh,
Tommy gun.
1947, there was a Dick Tracy movie. Interesting.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah, anyway, we should go off on
Okay.
some random ass topics. Okay, hey, so
Yeah, I
before
mean,
we go though, we
you
were talking
bring
about the
up.
draft last week. Shedeur Sanders. To
So
the
yeah,
Browns,
I'm gonna
baby.
go ahead and get a Browns hat. I'm gonna support Shedeur.
My man. So many people are hating, and all these people are trying to throw these jokes like, ha ha, Browns have five quarterbacks. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, good. You know how many shitty quarterbacks we have? Let's find out which is the good one. And
Right.
we don't have five. We're going to have four because Deshaun Watson is hurt and he's not going to play anymore for the Browns. So you got old Joe Flacco at 40. You got Kenny Pickett, who's a little sus, but he's the more experienced. And then you got these two rookies from Oregon and Shedeur from Colorado. Um, we'll see.
Hey
Whatever.
man, look, I
I'm
give
happy for it. Good. Who cares?
yeah,
And it's a hell of a deal. In the fifth round, who would have thought he'd be the sixth or last quarterback selected?
wow. Well, it's come out now that there was an organized blackout against him. All the owners were like, take him off the draft board. So they were deliberately trying
I
to
mean,
send a
is that
message.
true?
I think it's true. I think it's true for a lot of them, especially the ones up top where they were like early they were like, oh well, this team is looking at him and he's got this skill set and he does this well. He has good reads. He stays in the pocket. He's very accurate. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, after the interview now they're saying that he came across as a little arrogant and he came across as a little overconfident. And I mean, come on, man. This dude is going into the NFL. That's the thing you need to have confidence, not arrogance, but confidence for sure. And knowledge of self and understanding what you bring to the table. The other one is this dude is the son of a former NFL player. He's made a ton of money. So he's not coming into league to, pull my family out of
Right,
poverty.
right,
And,
right.
he's playing because he wants to. He doesn't have to, right? He doesn't have to. And I think there's a little bit of something to be said about, I think the owners like the idea that the kids come in like, yeah, man, whatever you need, I'm going to do whatever I can to make it because this is a big, great opportunity to have. Hey, man, this dude is already known. He's going to be okay regardless of what
Right,
happens. Right.
right,
So,
right.
and that's why I think he's going to be successful is because he wants to do it. He has a father and he's surrounded by people who know what it takes to be successful in the league. So whatever he does with the organization, he's going to get outside help. Like he's not just going to be in class listening to the teacher and doing the assignments. He's going to do that and then he's going to have a tutor outside of class
Right.
to help
I
him
think
with all that
part of the
stuff.
problem he slipped too was because once you get to like third round or something, they're like, okay, well now we could pick him as a backup quarterback, but we don't want a backup quarterback with that much celebrity, you know what I mean, and bringing all that other stuff with them. So I think that was a worry for some people. But
Yeah.
the Browns, it was fine, and they even asked him yesterday about his interviews, and like you heard some interviews weren't as good and this and that, but and he's like, all I know is my interview with the Browns was good enough that the Browns wanted me, and this is all that I'm going to focus on now are the Browns. I can't help anything that happened in the past. And boom, he was at a school in Cleveland. He went to John Marshall High School yesterday, where my mom, I believe, went to school, and a couple of my aunts and uncles. And yeah, he went there and talked to the students. And yeah, he's going to have to earn it, and he's going to have to work. But man, I'm sick of all these haters. I'm from Cleveland. The amount of hate that LeBron gets every fucking time, the amount of shit people are giving me this week. And I'm like, dude, they don't even play for the Cavs. I'm like, how the Cavs doing? Cavs looking good, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, dude, I like Shedeur. I like Shedeur. I like that whole family because honestly, they just take it in stride, bro. They're like, say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do. Nothing's gonna shake us or deter us. And when we show up, we're gonna get the job done. And they haven't failed yet. They haven't
Yeah,
failed yet.
so
Yeah,
yeah, we'll see. I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
I'm not tripping. And this is another thing a lot of people didn't realize. The Browns quarterback coach used to play on the 49ers with Dion.
Oh, whoa,
So,
okay.
and he's like his friend. They're friends from back then. So, that's kind of cool too, that now his son's going to be coached under his friend. So, yeah, there's a lot to it. And yeah, we'll see. I was texting my buddy after he got drafted. He got drafted on Saturday. I was texting my friends like, man, I wish the Browns were playing tomorrow.
All right, I'm gonna pick up a Browns hat, man, to show support.
There you go, dude. I don't
I
like the
mean,
dog they chose for it, but that's the logo they have now. It's kind of
oh,
too
wait, they have a new
wrinkly.
logo?
Oh,
Wait, the
well,
Browns is a dog? Their logo is a dog?
yeah, that's the hat they gave Shedeur and all the people at the draft. So the Browns, a couple
Cleveland
years ago, they
Browns
have these
logo.
votes, and you got to vote, and I voted for my dog logo. Yeah, but this dog logo is the one that won, and I don't really like that dog. He's too wrinkly. He looks too like
Yeah, but he's got that.
yeah. Yeah, let me
This
see
is
if
what
I can find.
me and the dog look alike.
Come on, man. Dog ain't that ugly.
I set myself up for that one. I'll take it.
All right. So
All right,
here
I'm gonna look at
we're
it and see what I want. I'm gonna figure out which one it is and
here. I want to show
which
you.
one lost. Which one lost?
Here, I'll show you right now. I already got it up, bro. I'm a pro. All right, so here's the four. Here's the five.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, come on out. The one that they picked is the best one. Is
He has no
easily the best
eyes.
one.
He has no
It's the
eyes.
it doesn't matter because he's mysterious. He's dark
No,
and
the best
mysterious.
one is this one right here
No way.
with the
That one looks
stripe
too.
on the head.
That looks like the minor league version of that dog, right?
And I
Like
don't
that's
even
the
like the spike collar. Like this one, okay, I'll compromise. Give me this one.
dude. It's too. That's like the Tennessee Mud Ducks, right? Like that's the lower league one. This one over here, the one to the far right, is the NFL one. The others are too comical, right? They look like they're the minor league version,
Yeah, I mean,
the
I do like
CFL version.
cartoons though.
So yeah, I'm liking that one. That one's easily the best.
All
And plus,
right, well,
it looks tough. He's kind of dark. You can't see his eyes.
this one
And
don't look tough. Look at this one. He's got a spiky collar.
dude, the spiky collar's not enough. Look at his face is too soft. He looks
It's funny.
doughy.
This one looks more like he's in what is that? BDSM dominant stuff.
MS
Bondage.
no yeah, BDSM, the
This guy looks like
sadomasochistic.
this is how Shannon Sharpe likes his young 20-year-olds to dress. Like, and then
Oh boy. Yeah, we can talk about that too. But honestly, I think the one that they selected is the right one. The
all
others are
right,
too
what do
those
I
are too
know? What
comical.
do I know? I
All
like the
right,
white
so
of the
let's
eye.
talk about this Shannon Sharp thing, man. For the record, I like Shannon Sharp. I do. I like Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
think a lot
happy
of
that
people do.
I'm happy that he's he's been able to become successful in something else outside of
Thank you.
football.
Thanks in part to a stand-up comedian.
Who?
Stand-up comedian Cat Williams is what put that Shay Shay podcast onto a stratosphere.
I mean, yeah, he showed up and
And he
he
made
showed
him a
up and
lot of
showed
money
out.
off of that episode.
Yeah, he showed up and showed out. But Shannon already kind of had a voice being on ESPN with him and Skip going back and
Yeah,
forth every
but
day. And then the falling out between he and Skip, and then going off to
what do
the
you want to
next
say
one.
about this? So what we know, I mean, so this
It's
woman
bogus
accused him
garbage.
of raping her a couple times in their multi-year relationship. I also heard it was like, again, like the Kobe thing, a butt thing. And I think he went into the back door and she wasn't cool with it or something. And that's what we're at here.
Man, listen. I believe Shannon. Straight up, I believe Shannon. I do. I
What
believe
happened to believe
Shannon.
in women, Reg?
Hey, dude, I'm not saying I don't believe in women. I'm saying in this situation, I don't believe in her. I absolutely support women and their right to express themselves and whatever the case may be. But I don't think that this young lady is straightforward. I believe that her attorney
Well, that
Buzz
doesn't help. Our attorney's, been a guy who's he did the Jay-Z one too.
he did the Jay-Z one, he had others, and they've all turned out to be bogus. Like he's obviously a guy who's like he's like an ambulance chaser. He's looking for a thing, and I think that he's unscrupulous. I think that he would manipulate the
Well,
audio and the
lawyers in
video.
general.
Yeah, he has no credibility. And so to
Did
be aligned with that
you,
guy is where the mistake lies.
yeah, there was also, what did they say?
And dudes ain't gotta rape nobody. It's not rape is about power. Power, and it's not about
Yeah, but this
sex.
could be like, hey, I want to do this, and she doesn't, and he does it. There is a thing that, well, here's the thing. He
Yeah.
supposedly, they offered to settle, give her $10 million, and she turned it down. So then you're like, that's a lot of money to offer if you didn't do anything wrong.
Well, this is the thing too. You got to remember his platform, where he's at, what he's doing,
He doesn't
and he
want that to
got
get
it,
hurt.
and he
Yeah.
got it right. It's one of those things where it's like, look, my career is going well. I'm about to sign $100 million contract with ESPN, which is very funny that that is on the table, and then all of a sudden, like that's released, like that is known. Shannon Sharpe
Right.
is up to sign $100 million contract with ESPN, and then boom, a young lady comes forward to say, Shannon Sharpe raped me twice, and I want $50 million.
Right. Right. Right.
Really? And then you're the same one that offer him 25,000. You're like, yeah, you can have each cheek for $25,000. What I'm saying, man, is that the timing of these things, this is where they make the mistake. The timing just doesn't fit. If this happened and this is what was going on, damn his contract of what's about to happen, right? If you already making money because you're an OnlyFans, right? You're on OnlyFans making money, and his career is going well. Club Shay Shay is doing well. Nightcap is doing well. His ESPN spot is doing well. It's like, look, I disagree with you. I'm not admitting guilt, but based on where I am in life right now, I don't need this problem. So take the money and leave me alone. Because that's all it really is about anyway. Because if it was about anything other than money, if it wasn't about the money, then you would come forward and you just say, this is what happened to me. And I don't necessarily need to be compensated in some way. I need for people to know that this guy's a predator and he is doing this thing. If I'm telling you right now, the woman who comes forward that's not trying to get millions of dollars from a successful person is the one who's telling the truth. And then in the end, then we talk about compensation and pain and suffering and all that kind of stuff.
All
But
right.
if you
This
just come,
says,
go ahead.
I'm going to read in the lawsuit claims Sharpe threatened to kill her on multiple occasions, raped her when she attempted to leave the relationship, and even secretly filmed intimate acts without her consent. The abuse continued until January 2025 when she finally severed ties.
When she's, yeah, I
Or
mean,
when
come on, man.
two of them finally severed ties. He wielded
Okay,
his
well,
power, wealth, and fame to manipulate and control her. I mean, she was 19 when he met her, which is crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. But I'll say this too. She wants to talk about he recorded her
Mm-hmm.
without her knowing, um, without her knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
All those little videos and audios that she recorded, those without his knowledge. So it's tit for tat, really, because it's illegal to
Oh, we're
record someone.
recording her when he's talking. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's illegal to record someone without their knowledge and without
He
telling
was
them.
just on a, he was on a live broadcast with Ocho Cinco, focused on Shedeur. In the middle of sharing a personal story, he was interrupted by someone off screen. And in a moment, he quickly turned and said, "Shut the fuck up."
Did he
The
really?
room fell dead silent. And he and Chad, full of quips, appeared uncomfortable. Then Sharpe muttered that the noise was from next door, possibly from a producer or assistant, but the damage was already done. Okay, so here's this.
Oh boy.
I mean, it is
Okay,
it's
and
a political nightmare or a
and I'm gonna
PR
say something about
nightmare.
this.
All right.
I only heard from two teams. Guess what the two teams that called me, Ocho, say, what's your phone number? Where you going to be?
Who that?
Shut the fuck up. Next door. Cincinnati Bengals were one.
I don't know, man.
Okay, hold up. This is the other one. Can we talk about this? Is a person because you're successful, financially successful, are you not allowed
Yeah, that didn't
to
look like much.
Yeah, are you not allowed to be a full person who can be
Right.
frustrated or who can
Right.
lash out or who can have some sexual proclivities that people may not necessarily agree with fully? Like, yeah, maybe you like spanking a motherfucker. Maybe you like being called daddy. You know what I'm saying? If you find the right chick and she like, yo, put a dog collar on me and call me a B. Like, yo, okay, does that make you a bad person? No, it just means you have some different interests. But it's funny that we hold these people in society because you're successful in one thing. It's like, well, if you do this thing, then you're a bad person. No. Plenty of people are good people. There are plenty of people who've done bad things, who are good people that have done bad things. If you do something bad, it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. And if it's consensual and it's with somebody else who agrees with that same level of whatever, then it's not even bad. It's just different than what, all these vanilla ass people want, right?
Right.
So
This
yeah, man.
says what happens next. Sharpe has not faced criminal charges. It's unclear whether the lawsuit will lead to a criminal investigation. However, the civil case alone threatens to derail his career, tarnish legacy, cost him millions in legal fees.
And that's all they try to do. And that's what he's trying to avoid. He's like, look, this is what's
Right.
happening right now. People are targeting athletes and successful people. And it's been like that from the beginning of time. It's like, here's some money, please go away. Right? Sometimes
Right.
they take the money and run. For her,
I
she's
still
like, all
can't
right.
believe somebody who talks like Mushmouth can be like a podcast. This podcaster.
Hey, I'm
What?
gonna say this. I'm gonna say that just like with the Jay-Z situation, these charges will probably be dropped at some point.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the people who want to believe and who want to tear down people, they're not gonna believe it. They're gonna say he paid for it. He paid for a way out of
Right.
it.
Right. Right.
They always get to get away with it. They love to think. This is the thing, man, and it sucks. It really sucks because there's this narrative in our society, in our country, that's like historically based on what white people have put out about black people, is that we are like these sex crazed maniacs
Right.
that can't
Right.
stop, right? That we don't
Right.
have control. And it's not true. It's not
Right.
true, but people want to believe that shit. And a
It's
part of it is
easier
their
to
own
label you as a
insecurities.
villain and scary, all
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they love to paint us as this fucking scary, sex crazed maniac who can't be satiated, right?
And
Who
here's the
who
bottom line too. Like Jay-Z, yeah, he got off. Shannon, he's off. If you're really guilty, you might be in jail already, like Diddy is. You know what I mean? Like if they
but
have
hold up though, he
evidence,
still ain't nothing. He still ain't been charged. I mean, he ain't been charged with nothing. He hadn't had a trial yet. They're holding
he's
him
been
with.
charged.
Oh, he's been charged, but he hasn't gone to trial yet. And
No,
some stuff
but
is already coming off. Like there's some things that have already been dropped. And I'm not trying to defend the guy. I think that he has been egregious in a lot of ways. I think that he probably pushed the boundaries too far because there are too many people and too many stories where people are like, yeah, man, it was crazy at those parties. So it's easily based on the amount of people that
here's
he
what
was
the
interacting
charges
with.
are: racketeering, conspiracy, 2 charges of sex trafficking, 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution. Yeah, I mean his was like a whole goddamn business setup.
Yeah, see, that's like mafioso shit.
Yeah, right,
Right?
right,
Racketeering, that's about money. Racketeering and
right.
conspiracy, that's about money. That's about money, right? So for him, and some of those charges have already been dropped as far as like some of those cases and some of the women. But I think that he was too far too expensive
Jesus, dude,
to
100 women and men across the U.S. have filed lawsuits against them.
everybody trying to get paid. Everybody trying to get paid. Men and women. Like the moment that one guy came for him was like, yeah, he tried to hit on me. I bet 99 other dudes was like, oh, I was at a Diddy party. He tried to hit on me too. Let me get some of that money. Right? Like, whatever, dude.
Mama mia. All right, Reg,
We'll
we'll wrap
see.
us up, dude.
All right. Just for the record, I subscribe to innocent till proven guilty. I will
It
not
sounds like
convince.
if Reggie was at a Diddy party, he'd want to hang out with Biggie, but you'd probably, Diddy would probably be trying to get with you, Reg. And then you would be doing those lawsuits right now. But I'm telling you, Sal, he touched me. I'm like,
Dude, if you know me, the way I hang out at parties is I sit in the back. I sit in
you would
my back is
leave. You would
always
have
against the
left.
wall. Look, I'm a storyteller. My job as a storyteller is to watch the story unfold, right?
Yeah.
So I always sit in the back and I watch and I check the temperature of the room and I see what's going on and I watch how people move because I'm a people watcher. And the moment that I see things start to go astray or people start doing some things that seem out of sorts, then this is me right here. I'm like, all right, man, yo, I'm about to get out of here.
That's
Yeah,
I
no,
told
good
that's what
shit.
Chappelle told me. Dave Chappelle, the one time he came in the green room, and it's not long after he left the show. And I'm like, Dave, it was just really crazy, just me and him, right? And I'm
Mhm.
just in that tiny green room, and I'm like, I have to talk to this guy. And I was like, Dave, I really love watching you on stage. I'm like, I don't know what it was with the show, but you just have so much fun on stage. It's so cool to see. And he said, man, about that show? It was like, you ever been at a party and you feel like a fight's about to break out, so you want to leave before it happens? That's what that show was like. And I was like, yeah,
Dude, I'm with Dave 100%. You know how
yeah,
many like in high school and even in college, I get that feel. I start to see the atmosphere change in the
yeah. You
room.
feel a change, yeah.
You feel the change, and that's when all right, man, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. You hit
Yeah,
everybody up, you do your
come
thing.
on before the
I
Diddy party.
bounce, and then the next
Freak
day, he's
off.
like, man, right after you left, man, it was crazy. They got somebody got hit with a bottle, and a chair got
I
thrown. I'm
got it.
like, yeah,
I got
I'm
it.
good because, and I'm gonna throw my boy out there. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, right? I'm not gonna push him under the bus. Some people throw people under the bus with two hands. I'm not gonna do that. But my boy Mockley, when we're in college, we used to we hang out, we go different places. And Mockley is the guy who, like, something's starting to happen, like a little rustle starts to happen over there. Mockley's this dude. He's like, ooh, hey, what's going on? Come on. Right? He wants to go see what's happening. And I'm the guy who's like, man, bring your ass home. Like, we getting the
Let's get
hell
the
out of
fuck
here.
out of here, dog.
Exactly. Because the one thing that I heard growing up that always stuck with me is that bullets ain't got no names on them. Right? And when them things start flying, anybody can get hit, and I
Yeah,
ain't trying to get hit.
yeah.
Exactly.
There's
So,
no rules of
um,
justice.
and if
I
you
was
and if you
thinking,
and
uh,
if you find a bullet with a name on it, then that shit was intentional.
right. Like the
Yeah.
kid, like Luigi.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Oh, he wrote the name on there. That's right.
he put deny healthcare, whatever
Yeah.
signals. I was thinking every time we close, if the cat's here, I should just hold the cat. That way people will stay to the end to see what the cat looks like while you close this up. So, all right, Reg, close this up. Let me get the closer.
Okay. All right,
Tired.
Metro.
Look how tired he is.
Hey, Metro. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty cat, dude. That's a pretty
Mhm.
cat. All right. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We love it, and we're gonna keep on doing it. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. That's the best thing you could do for us. Also, leave a comment. If there's something you want to talk about, let us know and we'll discuss it.
Yeah,
With that
leave a
being said,
Venmo so we can feed Metro.
yeah, and Sal will put up a Venmo so he can feed Metro. And we'll send out a detailed list of where the money actually went.
Yeah,
You
what kind
know,
of food he eats? He likes
catnip, cat
Buffalo
food.
Blue.
Yeah,
He likes
exactly.
anything though. This motherfucker will eat everything, bro.
There we go. It's a pretty cat. So look at the cat, folks. Love the cat. You gotta love the cat.
All
You
right,
gotta
say
love the cat.
goodbye,
This is
Metro.
this is my Donald Trump. You gotta love the cat. Look at the cat. Who puts their
Bye
hands like this
bye.
anyway? It's a beautiful cat. It's the most beautiful cat you've ever seen. I've never seen a cat more beautiful. It's the prettiest cat in the whole wide world. In the history of the world is the greatest cat ever. It's the greatest cat. Um, but with that being said, thanks for tuning in. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is
Is
Spitballin'.
spitballing.
Peace.